One of the most common things that you'll need to do with collections is to iterate through each item in the collection. Iterating through a collection is a little like flicking through the pages in a book. If you knew the number of items in the collection, you could directly address them using collection 0, collection 1, etc. But most of the time, you won't know in advance how many items your collection will have. In this lesson, you will use a foreach loop to iterate through each item in a collection. To begin, open the My Project sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open calculatorfunctions.cs. Now you're going to add a new method that will total up all of the numbers in a list of int variables. You should be quite familiar with creating methods by now. Use the following code. Public static int total numbers list int list to total. This method accepts a list int collection as an argument and returns an int value. When it is complete, it will add up the values of each element in the list to total collection and then return the total. This method is static, so you won't need to create an instance of the calculator functions class in order to call the method. To return the total as an int value, you'll need to create an int variable to return. Create one in the total numbers method using the following code. Int total equals 0. The total variable is assigned a value of 0. As you iterate through the list to total collection, you'll add each value to the total variable. Now add the following code to iterate through each item in the list to total collection. Foreach int number to total in list to total. Begin curly brackets, end curly brackets. The number to total variable is called the iteration variable. The code will loop through all of the items in the list to total collection, and each time the code loops, the value of the current item will be placed in the number to total iteration variable. You learned about the var variable type in lesson 5.13. If you use a var iteration variable in a foreach statement, it will automatically be assigned the same variable type as the items in the collection. In this example, you could have used foreach var number to total, and the code would have worked in exactly the same way. It is best practice to avoid using var variables, as it makes the code harder to understand. This is a common bad programming practice. I've included this information because you may see this practice in other people's code. Now add the following code inside the foreach statement. Total equals total plus number to total. As the foreach statement iterates through each item in the list to total collection, their values will be added to the total variable. Now at the end of the method, you'll need to return the total by adding the code return total. Now let's test your new method. Open the code behind file of calculator.aspx. Remove all code from the button Calculate To click event handler. And add the following code to create a list of int variables. List int list2total equals new list int 12, 17, 135. This list collection contains the integer values 12, 17, and 135. Therefore, its total should come to 164. Now add the following code on the next line. Int total equals calculator functions dot total numbers list to total response dot write total. This code calls the total numbers method from the calculator functions class and displays the result. View calculator.aspx in your browser now and click the second button. The number 164 is displayed, showing that your method totaled the numbers correctly. Close your web browser now and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 8.3. Iterate through a collection using foreach.